Hello everybody. I am here to say hello with Finnegan. It's still cold. Show your little face. Yes. He loves to have the top of his head kissed. Okay, you got enough attention? He saw me sitting myself here and he came immediately to demand attention. Every time I'm at the computer in this room, he is suddenly feels unloved. Okay. Hi Elaine, hi Ilyanka, hi Sharon, hi Carlene, hi Karen, hi Michelle. Thank you for making it, Elaine. Yeah, it's right now, I think it's like 29 or so. Unfortunately, 31. It's supposed to get up to 33. Unfortunately, we are expecting freezing rain that's going to go from around after or around 4 o'clock till tomorrow morning. And because we've been through so much cold, sub-freezing cold, everything is, the ground is cold and everything is cold, so it might stick. So we can look to up to 1/4 of an inch. Hopefully not, because the only thing I can think of is my whipping willow in the front. And I'm having bouts of yawning, so please don't mind. Okay. Hi, Rare Plymouth. Oh, Plymouth. Rare Plymouth. Hi, Silver. Yeah. So what I thought is just to enhance our little moods here, because I'm sure that everybody by now starts having cabin fever. Well, except for Sharon. She's already used to cabin fever. She's in Alaska. That was a joke. Okay. I thought of doing a spring-like cane. And I'm going to be using, so obviously this is white. I'm going to use the white for some Skinner blend and also for wrapping. And then I'm going to use some ultramarine blue and some jungle green and maybe a touch of yellow at one point. My order from Polyclay Play isn't coming till tomorrow, so hopefully they'll be able to deliver it. Okay, remember, I'm not sleepy. You're not boring me. It's just that from time to time I have bits of yawning. It might be related to the weather, to the barometer. I have no idea. Yeah, it is Hawaii. Shut up. Don't even mention it to us. I'm gonna get very, very upset. Okay, so this is going to be a very free-form cane, and feel free to, I'm not going to do measurements, I'm not going to do any of the sort. So I'm going to just grab some. So this would be about 2.5 inch by 1, and let's put a, no, let's not put a 1/4 because it's got some extra here and some minus here. So it's like a 2 by 1. I hope I don't make it too big. But there are some variations with this type of cane that I would really like to present. So even if it's a little bit more on the bigger side, it's going to be, so this would be again definitely a 3 inch by 1 1/3, 1 1/4. Let's put a 1 1/4 if you want to be stickler with measurements and things. And I'm going to go with another concoction of mine to make things go faster. Alrighty, so I'm going to actually place this here. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to wrap it up. You know, I know a lot of we have, and I have myself. Hi, Chris. I have myself tutorials on how to do Skinner blends, and there's all kinds of ways. It's the actual Skinner blend that the mathematician Judy Skinner invented. Then there's the teardrop by polymer clay tutor. All kinds of things. You know, I have my V-shape thing, V-fold, and all kinds of other stuff that one can do to get the Skinner blends going. Now, if you're more towards a beginner, you might get all impressed and nervous about Skinner blends. There's nothing to be impressed about. They don't, most of the time, they don't have to be perfectly perfect to the millimeter and the color and the, no, there are some situations in which you do want to be as close to perfect as possible, but those situations are very rare, especially in organic canes. You don't really have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to go with it this way. And now I have something that can be so nicely fan folded. Hi, Darla. Is Kansas going to get hit with freezing rain? I didn't look much for the neighboring states. Yeah, we are under, I don't know, winter start more and more to remind me of the movie The Day After Tomorrow, to be very honest with you. Like a neighbor. So time to party, huh? I'm joking. Must be very uncomfortable not to be able to get at in your home for so long. Okay, now I want to bring my blue a little bit more towards the white, so that means V-fold. I'm going to go with this several times through the machine just with a simple fold. It's still not wide enough, so I'm going to go again this way. No, it is long enough, so V-fold. Yeah, I heard that actually the Federation is thinking of changing some regulations about having games in inclement weather. Alrighty. I'm going to simply do it like this, and it's going to become a regular. But you see how I have my blue more towards the white, and I want to go even more. another V-fold. So I calculate about half, right, when I do my V-folds to extend one color into another. And then 45 degrees angle. And I'm going to have this extra pure color on the ends. I normally just fold it, but just for a better, cleaner, more pro look, I'm going to cut and fold. Yeah, it's beautiful. Did you ever ask yourself why? So I'm going again this way so I can fan fold. I said I'm going to go again this way so I can fan fold it. I didn't. Anyway, hi Adelaide. Me too. You feeling better? Adelaide had, unfortunately, lately some really big health issues, so she hasn't been around online much. She normally is such a ray of sunshine. She's always enthusiastic about a lot of things. So I'm going to go on a thin, and then I'll be doing some rolls. Okay. And remember, whenever you're rolling like this, you make more folds, because normally we just fold, but when you roll, it's like you have so many more folds. That is a good mindset, Adelaide. The only con to the rolling technique is that you might get air trapped. But you see how much faster the clay mixes. Okay, have you ever thought why most of the spring flowers are white, blue, purple, and yellow? And if you think, this is pretty much the order they start coming up in early spring: white, blue, purple, and yellow. It all pertains to their pollinator. That very early in spring, the bees are not out yet, so they depend on various flies. Not even butterflies are out. I think that maybe a couple species are out, but not many. So it all depends on the color perception of their would-be prospective pollinators, because obviously flowers do need pollinators in order to make seeds to propagate. And as we all know, life's purpose in life. Anyway, the life's purpose seems to be to survive long enough so it can multiply, reproduce, breed. So that is why early spring flowers have those colors. So the rolling technique also helps us a lot into holding the pattern on the narrow side. okay if it is. I'm not going to go to full blending, to full gradient. Going to do this and maybe one more roll, and then I'm going to directly turn it to a plug, and it's going to be a cubic plug. I'm gonna have to go, after I finish this, I'm gonna have to go to outside and feed the stray cats that survived. But I'm trying to go when at the top. I mean, today it's going to be above freezing, but before today I was going whenever it was the warmest part of the day, so I wouldn't make them get out from their boxes to come for food. My worst problem for them during this time was to give them water, because being under below freezing, every water that I would put out there would freeze after a certain amount of time. So alrighty, so now I can fan fold, I can cut and stack. It's entirely how you want to do it, but I'm going to want it a little bit narrower, so I'm going to just gently pull on it to make it narrower. It will be easier for me to work with it. Alright. So give me enough room here. And I'm going to cut. Oops. Hey, stay there. As you can see, I'm wearing a woolen jacket. I don't even want to think what my heating bill will be next month, because I had days in a row when my heater would be just non-stop practically. Okay, and now I'm going to just go picking them up randomly, and not only picking them up randomly, but because I want to do an ikat type gradient, I'm going to also pick them up slightly unlined. So one's gonna be a little bit lower, another one a little bit higher, and again maybe lower. This is a bit extra. I'm going to go here. And so on and so forth, a little bit lower, a little bit higher. That's going to be it, and then I'm going to make it into an approximate cubic. Yeah, I don't have an outdoors outlet, so this house was built in 1944, so it doesn't have a lot of, and also it's double brick, so poking a hole from the inside out, not easy and not cheap. Okay, just a second, I need my And I am going to reduce it to be straighter like this and longer like this, so I can cut it in two. Time to time I'm going to give it a little encouragement so it wouldn't bow too much. But essentially this is what I want to have. And no, it's supposed to be with these ends on the end, with these on the end. Duh, it happens. So yeah, what I normally do, I get because they have metal water dishes outside, and there's a reason why I have metal water dishes, because I can easily disinfect them. Alrighty, so I'm going to cut this in approximately 1/3 on a side and 2/3 on the other side. Approximately. And it helps when you cut with the sharp edge of the blade. And then I'm going to reduce this until it gets to this size. Hi, Catherine. How's it going? How's the weather treating you? Because we are all complaining here. I guess I'm the biggest complainer, but I get to talk on here, so advantage me. Alrighty, so this would be my flower. This is my flower, okay? So the way that's going to work, it's going to get gently squeezed. And don't bring these over, not yet. For now, just gently squeeze the ends, see? And then once you squeeze them enough, you can start bringing the ends over. And make sure you push this back. And the same on the other end. I got 1/2 of it, and then the second one the same way. First, kind of squeeze here without bringing the stuff up. And yeah, now you get to see my fingernails in all their splendor. They are not dirty, okay? They are not dirty. They are just, I mean, except for clay. They are just so thick that they are yellow-ish. So, okay, there we go. So now I can start pinching these. And these two. And then pushing the areas that were pinched down, because the clay obviously will have the tendency to get widened out. And now this needs to become a semicircle. So I'm going to use my acrylic block to show you how you do it, but you're gonna do it on the tile. But this is pretty much it, and you can even lengthen it a little bit just by pressing on the This is one. Now I'm going to first turn this into a semicircle. I mean, it's not circle, but semi something. So like this, just by pressing on the ends. And then I'm going to use my roller for this, gently bringing it a little over, kind of like this. And I'm going to cut a slice of white here. It might be a little too wide. Yes, it is too wide. Yeah, Finnegan and Connor really miss being able to have conversations with the cats outdoors through the glass door. Okay, now I'm going to do a very long diagonal cut. And it didn't work very good. There we go. And then grab this. So this is not any existing flower, okay? It's not. It's so not. Let me extend this a little bit more. Both ends. So, starting with the bottom, I just got some white here. Starting with the bottom, that's the darker. Pinch these together. And insert the white here. And let's do another diagonal cut. And this should be enough. Going to look kind of sorta. This is two. So, and I'm going to see, I'm pushing this up a little bit, and I'm going to do another diagonal cut, and this time place it in like this. Alrighty. Now I'm going to reduce this. I know it sounds like a pain to reduce in half a shape, but I can tell you it's not that hard. I don't want to lose the rounded shape. And I'm almost to the point where I can cut it in two. And I didn't cut it very well into. I'm gonna sacrifice this side and a pinch of this side. Alrighty. So you get wider here, girl, because I need you wider. Yeah, I know, measure and all that. They like to share, huh? Yeah, none of my guys like to share. The worst is that if I want to play with just one of them, I have to have the other two locked somewhere. Especially when they figure out, and they have toys, okay? They have a lot of toys that are leftovers from when I first got Finnegan, and I was getting a lot of toys for him. And I'm talking about interactive toys, right? Like the whack-a-mole kind and the all kinds of balls and things and the automated laser and all kinds of stuff. Most of them are just forgotten. None of them cares about it anymore. The only thing that they are still after is the laser. That's still very much in fashion for them. I'm trying to avoid having too much wastage, but I guess it's not really possible. This needs to be very close. Yeah, no, my guys have, it's the string that actually Finnegan came with when he was brought over. His former family brought him with this string and the can of Friskies. But anyway, so it's that string. For Finnegan is anything paper left on the ground. That's good to chew. He doesn't eat it, he just chews it. So I don't mind him doing that. Even when I get mail, I would just get the envelope and kind of scrunch it and throw it on the ground so he can chew on it. So sometimes I would scrunch an envelope and tie it at the end of the string, the famous string. And it's not something that makes noise, okay, the string. It doesn't matter. The moment I start playing with one of them with the string in the living room, within like 10 seconds, the other two will show up. It's a given. It's not. Okay, so I'm gonna put this for a while. I'm gonna put it there. And then I'm going to make... Yeah, mine don't really care about my hair. They didn't when I had long hair. They don't now. So, because my hair is not their thing. I need to clean my machine again. Yeah, I'll have tomorrow, if I get that clay delivered, my order delivered. I got some the new line of textured cutters from Polyclay Play, and their her texture rollers. And there's going to be a surprise with polyclay play. Just be aware. Going to be a line created by polyclay play. Only gave in her a few ideas, but when I'm going to present it, it's going to be on one of the lives, and Trish will be with us too. Yeah, my elderly neighbor next door, sorry, she had to get her cat 2 times already to the vet because he eats plastic bags, like Walmart bags. And when I say he eats them, I mean he chews and eats them. And he gets intestinal blockage from them. So they have to be careful, but even so, sometimes he finds stuff that nobody was aware is there. So in this I am happy. But the only thing that I did order for my floofs as a splurge lately is that tubed, they're like these pouches that are long and thin, tuna pouches. Okay, now I have these leaves, and the way that I want to work with them is I'm going to try and make them rounds so that I can reduce them, obviously. So I'm gonna put this one here, and this is too wide. Creating a round shape right now. And again, diagonal. Diagonal. Ah, I need a new one. Diagonal. What the heck did this one do? It needs a deeper diagonal. There we go. Oh, and I was very upset today because I think I told you that I often go, often, daily, when I have my coffee in the morning, on a meme site called 9gag. And most of the time, to be honest, I get my news from there. Before all the news outlets manage to come up with them, because it's an international website, and unfortunately they had their servers in China, and China closed them, so no more memes. Okay, so I'm trying here. Okay, this is too wide. Actually, I think I'm going to just trim this off a little bit so I can get my rounded shape. And there we go. And now I can go ahead and this is going to get whatchamacallit, wrapped anyway. So, well, I have my two older ones are 10, no 11, no 10, they're gonna be 11 this year, and Finnegan turned 4. So there's a little bit of a difference in the level of activity, but don't get me wrong, Finnegan can be a lazy little butt, and Connor still has his zoomies, and he's worse than Finnegan when he has his zoomies because he actually tries to climb the door frames and sometimes the walls. Alrighty, so I think that, oops, how did I do that? I pulled too hard. Okay, let's make this a little bit thinner. And this should be good. Now I'm going to start putting it together. It's going to require quite a bit of white. And yeah, I was looking, did anybody buy anything on Temu? T-E-M-U? Ever? Because I am very curious about it. I've seen some stuff. I don't even know if it's like, I'll have to search more into that. If it's like AliExpress or how is it? I am quite reluctant to order from China anymore because I know a lot of the stuff coming from China goes through the Suez Canal. Where's that? All that stuff going on with the Houthis and all that. So I don't know if I'm gonna get it. But why I'm so interested is because I've seen some cat fountains that look more entertaining and much easier to clean than, and cheaper than what you can get on Amazon. So alrighty, so I'm going to go to about this length. I might actually do 2. We'll see. As I said, I don't want to make it very big. This should be it, and the rest I'm gonna keep for some next video to create. Okay, and one more thing that I need is some thin-ish line of the jungle green. Remember, if you do not have any leftover jungle green because it's not produced anymore, the recipe is on the home page of my website. Yeah, I had to actually put a folded towel in front of my bathroom door to avoid, you know, under the door pause. My main thing with, I know let's not suppose to support the billionaires. The truth is that it's not just Amazon, it's also smaller companies that benefit, but my main thing is Amazon still has some reliability. I might try it then. Alrighty, so I'm going to put it together. It's not going to be a kaleidoscope cane. I'm going to wrap each of these flowers. And oh, I didn't start at the right part, so I need to start at the bottom of the flower, right? And place the diagonal in such a way that it almost makes a straight line. Then bring it over, and at this point we place the thin green. That long. There we go. So you want the green to come out of the flower. To be kind of like this. Let's do the same with one more. And the same thing, so I'm going to repeat it. Diagonal cut. Bottom of the flower, and it's a little bit too wide. And by the way, if you like that stuff, be aware that Amazon Prime has now Chicago PD full, I mean almost full, and some of the Chicago FD. I'm waiting for Chicago MD. I love that one. I still had Netflix. I binged watched it. So you want your green to actually touch the bottom of the flower. That huge. So it does come from China. Yeah, same as AliExpress. I might wait until the whole thing gets a little bit less funky in that area. And I'm going to do a third one, the same. I am nearing my limit. What's the barometer? It's a bit high, actually. And this I'm going to make and now very gently, might have to leave this for and again, so I have this is the leaf, yes, and get it to size, and pretty much, almost pretty much the same thing. I'm going to go from the bottom of the base of the leaf all the way, stay there, all the way around. Yeah, with the weather being the way it is, I did binge watch a lot of stuff. Found actually a very interesting astrophysics documentary series. And I was actually thinking so much has changed in the few decades that I've been alive. About our knowledge of cosmos and the universe and stuff. It's amazing. The only thing I didn't like about that, the graphics and the special effects and the CGI are awesome. But the only thing that I didn't like about that series was that they just present some things as a given when it's something that's only determined by calculations using data that we have now, and all that might not be what actually happens. They're just suppositions. Still super interesting. Super interesting, and it puts it begs for completely new questions as well, because you know this whole what we know about the universe thing, the more you know, the more you realize the extent of what you don't know. And the whys and the hows and all that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make a little string. Yeah, I know Neil deGrasse Tyson, but this documentary is actually presented by a group of not just astrophysicists, but also other areas of science like biologists and all that. And then to give you an example, when I was younger, because I've always been fascinated by that, and I didn't go into subatomic physics because at that year when I had to go to college, there was no class open at the institute. Anyway, so what wasn't known before in my time, and now is known, when they say you are a star child and you are made of things that come from the stars, actually, history is written by the winners. And that when stars explode, either into a supernova, when they shed their outer layers and keep only the core, and they become blue or white dwarfs. No, they are just picked from various universities and colleges or research centers and stuff. Anyway, so through that explosion and through all the forces that happen and that's what produces the building blocks of life. So inorganic molecules. So very interesting, and it's got like 8 or 9 seasons, so it's a lot to watch. Yeah, the world is. What really irritates me, besides clay, my other thing to get my mind off things, and honestly it worked pretty good. It kept me sane when I was going through chemotherapy and stuff, is online gaming. And I'm not talking about stuff like Tetris and phone games. I'm talking about MMOs, and I play Guild Wars 2. And what really, and the good thing is that the moderators are really, really good about blocking people like that. Because this is a fantasy world, right? And you get people who try to bring politics in the public chat or religion or all kinds of stuff, which doesn't make me very happy. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm starting to actually shape my cane, and I am using my fingernails. Don't feel free to use your blade. Yeah, some stuff, what really, and I'm not trying to bring politics, but it's not really politics necessarily, is all these conspiracy theorists and denialists. Like, oh no, this happened this way. Dude, I was alive. It happened 2 years ago. I saw it, or 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years ago, or even 10 years or 20 years ago. I was alive. I either was part of it or I was watching it live on TV. What are you trying to tell me now? That it didn't happen that way? Okay, so as you can see, I am placing my little flowers. Actually, I need this smaller. This needs to be smaller. Dreams are always warranted. And the thing is that the less educated a person is, the easier it is to be manipulated. And see, in a way, so this is not I'm not being political or taking one side or the other, but the truth is, because I lived through it, okay? The truth is that educated people are hard to manipulate. And the biggest mistake for the regime, I mean, that the communist regimes of Eastern Europe was to give free education and free health, because, and the health was not really free because there was a system of bribery like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, free education at one point meant that the younger generations that were born after the change of the regime were not easily accepting BS, you know. So that practically meant the death of the regime. Because, for example, in Bucharest, and I told you I was part of the anti-communist revolution of Romania. I was there protesting and all that. Okay, so this actually needs to be smallish, or maybe get it this way. Yeah, let's get it this way and give it a few more leaves. But the revolution in Bucharest was actually called the college students' revolution, because it started at the center of Bucharest, where the University of Bucharest headquarters were, and the average, there were a lot of young people who died, but the average age of the people who were protesting there was like 32, 33. I mean, I'm not saying they were only young people, but most of them were young people. So in a way, most regimes do not want for people to have free education, because again, the more somebody is educated, the harder it is to manipulate them into believing propaganda. And because I was born and raised in that regime, unfortunately, I can sense propaganda from instantly, you know, pretty much. Let's get it like this. Can you see how pretty they look now? You need to stay there. Okay, so we need a little one here. Yeah, this would actually be a forest green. I don't know why they named it, Polyform named it jungle green. It's not a jungle green. So, yeah. I've been noticing generally, and not just in this country, but worldwide, that there's a tendency to get the masses as uneducated as possible. So Yay, Mona, she's here. What I'm sorry for is the Gen Z. And it's the millennials seem to be the last generation that still could dream about stuff that they could do. But the Gen Z, I'm gonna be 63 in 2 months, so don't ask me if I believe it. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get a few more stringlets, and we will have a but your kids are millennials, aren't they? I think that online schooling is actually a very good thing, only that it doesn't fit everybody. And the other thing is that, at least here in the US, the teachers seem to be stripped of any kind of power of enforcing discipline as possible. So with all the broken families that we have, with people being so, not necessarily bad, but sometimes they're just too tired to do parenting because they have to work so much to make ends meet. If children are not, the next generation will be horrible. I'm not going to be alive by then, obviously, but if children are not taught from an early age, if they grow up without any kind of form of discipline, those are lost kids. Yeah, not just younger children. Some older kids and teenagers do need interaction because they need socializing. And as I said, discipline, but some kids do much better, especially those who are a little bit, those who don't like to socialize, and those who are more on the higher IQ scale. They prefer online because it's easier to focus. And I think I told you before, what's the biggest difference between pretty much most European countries and the US. The European countries and societies are what's called interdependent societies, while the American society is an independent society. But I mean, the interdependent society work for the good of the group, while the independent society work for the good of the individual, that is themselves. And the best example of the difference between how an independent and an interdependent society behave is, for example, if you'd get a group of a dozen Americans, average Americans, and a group of a dozen Europeans, average Europeans, and I'm talking about Europeans born and raised there, and you give each group a project, the Europeans will discuss and they will figure out which of them is the most knowledgeable about the subject of the project. Then they would name them the leader, and they will start let that person organize and do the logistics and everything, while the group of Americans, they will, no matter of their knowledge, education, whatever, they will all want to be the leader. So that's the biggest difference between an independent and interdependent society. Yeah, and the tolerance. And don't get me wrong, there are some of the European countries that can be pretty racist. But racism exists everywhere. And it's the base of mass control is always try to, it's the old divide et impera, divide and conquer. It's always try to divide the people between us and them. Doesn't matter who them are. Always find an opposing group so people cannot work together, because if people start working together, that's going to be the fall of whoever leads that country. So, okay, so this would be a round one, and next Sunday we will do more. I will have these made in a few other kind of stuff, and we will do something with this cane, and that I actually will have to cut a slice so you can see how it looks like. And you can make it smaller, you can use it for beads, you can actually make it into a kaleidoscope cane, and we will do all that next Sunday. Okay, almost. I do need to reduce it a little bit more. But as you can see, it's super delicate. Yeah, believe me, the No Child Left Behind and you'll get a prize just because you were there did not help. So it actually wouldn't take that long. It wouldn't take an hour to make, but I just went slowly and chatted with you and all that. And of course, with the remnants, we'll talk about next Sunday as well. We'll make some beads. Okay? Thank you so much, and see you next Sunday. Hopefully I don't lose power and I don't get my weeping willow broken again. I still have to do a few things, take some trash out before, and I need to make sure that I put something on between the lid and the button and the body of my trash can, because otherwise it's going to get frozen shut, and if I want to throw something in the trash outside, it won't be possible. Anyway, I hope the weather treats you nicely, and I shall see you all Sunday. Have a wonderful week, and good luck, good health. Don't forget to thumbs up, and don't forget to use my influencer links, affiliate links. Thank you. Bye.